Hello, welcome to Off Grid Thoughts channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about putting a fuel drain spout on your Chinese generator fuel tank. So I've had this tube bender for several years. Now, those who aren't familiar with tube bending, uh, like if you're making a brake line or a fuel line, uh, a, just a simple tube bender like this. Now you see that where the 90 is on this, that means 90 degrees. You can make a 90-degree bend with the tube bender. So if you need to make a 45-degree bend or something like this, you can do that too. Just whatever you need to do. I picked up this roll of 5/16 by 25 feet of steel line. Got it for a pretty inexpensive price. I think it was $17.99 free shipping, so pretty reasonable. Now this particular tubing is coated. That's to resist rust and corrosion. It's just plain steel with a coating on it. You can get this kind of tubing in just plain steel. You can get it in stainless steel, which is more expensive. But this coated steel tends to last a long time, much longer than plain steel, or what they call zinc. Which zinc is just a lower grade steel is what it is. So what I did was I bent some small sections to 90 degrees with this tool. And what I did was, because this opening here is approximately 10 millimeters in diameter of the opening, and this 5/16 tube is approximately 8 millimeters in diameter. So that gives you a little bit of room so the steel epoxy can mate the surfaces. What I did also, I just took a pair of scissors and cut a little strip of paper towel, and so I put some steel epoxy around the end. I'm just using this end as an example, but it was actually this end. Steel epoxy around the very edge, the very end, not very much, just maybe about 1/8 of an inch, maybe. Just a little strip, and then you can take like a cotton swab and just barely do some steel epoxy around the edge, and then wrap the little piece of paper towel around it, maybe one wrap, and then put a little bit of steel epoxy over that. And then what that does is that allows you to just kind of have something that's going to hug the wall of the threads. But I would put some steel epoxy around the threads with maybe a cotton swab before you insert it. But don't go past the threads. Just kind of, the farthest you want to go is just to the end of the threads down in there. And then you can put something under this to hold it up and make sure it's in place where you want it, whatever. I just kind of chose a straight long ways direction, but you could put it any direction you like. But and then I put a layer of steel epoxy. When that dried, I put a second layer over it. And then after that, I hand painted it with the same color as what I painted the tank. So This is completely dry, and it hardened up very nice. Um, and the flow on I tested this. I blew into this, and the flow is excellent. Um, so I know with a cheap valve on there, and I know that I'm not going to have any flow issues because I don't have a cheap valve on there now. Uh, the valves that come with these tanks, they're very soft, like almost like a pot metal. And if you leave the valve in there too long, it's going to get soft, and it might break off with some threads on there. And I thought about that. I said, no, I'm going to take that out and just put an inline fuel shutoff valve on there. And then this is more of a long-term solution. So, and I could have put stainless tube on here, but like I mentioned, this coated steel tube, they tend to last a long time. So um, this is going to be very long lasting as it is. So I just wanted to put up a little video about that. I'm gonna put another video up about this tank too. One other thing I'm gonna do to it, but I'm not gonna really talk about that till I actually do it. But take care, everybody, and don't give up on your off-grid dreams. My off-grid dreams are long-term. And I'm just kind of sharing a little bit of what I'm doing just to give people some ideas of what they can do. Uh, but if you're in a hurry and you need your equipment fast, this is not the channel, because this is more of a long term thing. For people who are not on a timeline. Um, so I just want to say thanks for watching. Take care out there. Have a good day.